My name is Mark Walker and I'm the editorial director here at the FinTech Times. FinTech Times newspaper was founded in 2016 and reports on the latest and the brightest news from around the FinTech world. We're here at Money 2020 and I have with me today some representatives from Enterprises Estonia who I'm going to ask to introduce themselves.
So hello also from my side, my name is Anette Numa and I'm working as one of the digital transformation advisors at the Estonia Briefing Center, where we try to help our ICT companies to find new markets and of course also introduce the digital society that Estonia has built also in the past 30 years already.
Hello, I'm Kaido Saar, Chairman of Management Board in Finance Estonia, and Finance Estonia is a cluster organization for Estonian FinTech field.
Excellent. So, Estonia has a very, very good history and very well known for having a very full digital secure infrastructure. How has that really helped to sort of start helping financial services companies start out in Estonia?
Well, a lot, I would say, and a sentence I always like to use is like, where business is easy, business will grow. And this is going to stay like this forever. So we, since very early days already, we understood that if our private sector, and especially also when we think about the financial sector, is doing well, then this is also influencing the entire economic system. So we wanted to create an environment that they would really have flexible systems, and again, that they could use this kind of technology solutions in order to operate in our market. So definitely our banking sector has benefited the most when it comes to remote verification methods already since 2002 in a way, when we introduced the electronic identity card. So we have had that almost 20 years already that people can log into the systems, and the banking sector was helping the government a lot also since very early days already to also provide the ID card readers so that they could fully move on to the internet banking as well. So definitely it has been beneficial from both of the sides today.
Yeah, and you think from that sort of digital ID sort of roots, that's what's really enabled fintech companies specifically to latch on to the sort of the KYC and the AML aspects of financial services and build on that, yeah?
Definitely, and in addition to this, in Estonia it's very easy to establish a new business. You can do it remotely, and you can run your business remotely because we have e-residency tool in Estonia.
Yeah, absolutely. And sort of thinking about that sort of digital finance world, you know, we talk a lot about how regulation technology is quite sort of well being spoken about at the moment. You guys have been doing it for many, many years. So what are you guys seeing as the sort of the latest digital trends?
Well, again, it's all about technology and how it influences also the customer experience in a way. So we want to provide services, and especially again the financial sector, where people would have two elements actually that I would bring it out here. First of all, they would have a very smooth usage of the services. At the same time, they would be able to sleep peacefully by knowing that everything is secure, which is important again, and that's why our very secure infrastructure, by using also blockchain when it comes to our financial sector, has been very, very essential there. So that once again, that you have a smooth access to the services. It's everything, as Kaido said before as well, like everything happens remotely. At the same time, we can be 100% sure that things are great also by the cyber aspect and the security part of there as well.
Talking about Estonian fintech companies, the most popular categories of operations, they are digital assets, definitely, then lending operations, and payments, and RegTech. This is a pattern of trending categories in Estonia. But besides this, what is anyway unique in Estonia? It doesn't matter on which field you're specifically operating in. It's unique in Estonia, but Estonia is that small country, just 1.3 million living there. And if you're establishing your business there, usually the business is international since the beginning, because there is no point to do business purely for Estonian market itself. And this is very common in Estonia.
Yeah.
So we have to follow, of course, also the trends in other countries, as he brought it out before. So if our companies are thinking about the latest solution, it has to really also serve countries abroad in a way, because I mean, in the financial sector, there are no kind of national borders anymore.
Yeah, they're innovating for a much wider market than they will address just in Estonia. But obviously Estonia is a great place for them to start and to prove their technology effectively.
Exactly, and there is a huge potential inside European Union. If you're talking about the digital single market in financial sector, it doesn't exist that much as it exists in other business fields. Yeah. So there is definitely high potential for Estonian fintechs or foreign fintechs which started in Estonia.
And obviously, bearing in mind that you're from Enterprise Estonia, I guess the importance of government, public and private sector working together is very, very important, yeah?
Yes, and Finance Estonia is an organization which is covering Estonian FinTech companies. We have approximately 100 FinTech companies belonging to our organization, and we are representing their interests in a collaboration with governmental institutions. And what we have understood, based on my own experience as well, if you are operating in Estonia, you can have very good relations with governmental institutions and financial supervision authority, because country is very small and you have direct contacts. But in bigger size of country, you might be treated just as Excel row. But I don't know if you want to be an Excel row or you want to be a company and you want to be a human behind the company.
And of course, also when we talked about the trends in the financial sector, at the same time we need to prepare the legal background, and this is what all the financial companies know, because like financial sector is the most regulated one, I would say, and that's why also having this kind of great collaboration with the state is so important, so that we can also change the legal background in order to give a little bit better environment for our fintech companies to also operate. So that's why I would say Estonia has been a great example when it comes to collaboration, and really, I mean, the private sector companies like to reflecting their needs and so on as well. So definitely like
very worthwhile. And obviously you're here with a fantastic pavilion that we've been to earlier as well. So the idea behind bringing a group of companies here to Money 2020, that again is also a sort of a combination of working with between yourselves and the companies. That's kind of embodies the type of support that you're looking to give your ecosystem effectively.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I would say, again, as I started, the better the private sector is doing, the better the state is doing. So I think it should be responsibility of every single state to support their companies that are unique and then really are showing the or bringing the future to today, and that's why we're here today. So to also to make our voice heard in other countries too, and then if there's some large banks as well, that they could come and meet our companies who are really making change happening already today in Estonia, but could make change happening also in other countries.
And I can tell on behalf of the private sector that public sector is doing very well. We feel the support, and actually the idea of this nice pavilion that came from public sector. They proposed to us that let's have a pavilion together.
Obviously, Estonia is very well known for many good unicorns. So hopefully there will soon be some unicorns in the financial services sector as well.
We have in total we have 7 unicorns in Estonia. Imagine 1 million people, 7 unicorns. So highest probability if you want to set up your own unicorn. But talking about these 7 companies, and 2 of them, they are FinTech companies. TransferWise, not Wise nowadays.
Yeah, we have to get used to that.
Let's be correct. And Zigo.
But I can give you a little hint that one of these companies here on a list that are represented here in Estonian Pavilion also today here are definitely going to be one of the next ones, and I can really assure you that.
An inside scoop.
I'm not
heard it here first.
Name, but you're gonna see that.
I'm going to go and find out.
Year.
I'll figure that one out. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today and speaking with us, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm Jean Clark. I'm the editor-in-chief of the FinTech Times. Yeah, and I'm Ando Lepivan, so working as a Secretary General in Ministry of Economic Affairs and Communications in Estonia. Yeah.
First question is going to be on the unicorns in Estonia and how is Estonia keeping up in 2021?
Thank you for the question. I mean, definitely, it's performing very well at the moment, and it seems that whenever there is a, let's say, sufficient environment and business-oriented mindset, basically the businesses will grow. And like I said, we are performing at the moment very well. Most likely, we are getting investments into the startups in 2021 around 1 billion already, which is actually twice what we got 2020. And also turnover most likely is going to increase some 50%. So in that respect, it's performing well. And we do see actually that the maturity level more or less is reached in Estonia. We have roughly 1,200 companies, startups at the moment. And of course, it's quite a good percentage. I mean, dependent on a population what we have in Estonia, 1.3 million people, and yeah, it seems that even the COVID crisis didn't hit us hard, vice versa, basically.
And what would you say is attracting fintechs and unicorns to Estonia?
I suppose there are different angles on it, especially that. On one hand, we do have, like I said, the maturity level already at the moment, and I mean, during first 10 years we had to advertise ourselves. I mean, Estonia is a tiny country, but at the moment, I mean, Estonian startups are already like players in the global markets, and definitely, I mean. We are already famous in that sense that founders, investors, basically find Estonia and Estonian companies and where to invest to. And the other one is of course that kind of entrepreneurial mindset growing in Estonia, and this is especially due to the startup ecosystem, I suppose, because I mean, people see that the environment is pretty easy. I mean, to establish the company, to have a business, and really to scale it up. I mean, to the global scheme. So these aspects definitely. But of course, I mean, also like I said, the environment, startup visa. Let's say e-services, what we are providing in Estonia, also in the government level, and I mean, basically 99% of the services in Estonia are e-services. So there are only very few of them which are not. So really, I mean, it creates that kind of environment where startups can grow.
Sounds like a great environment.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And can you tell me about the e-residency scheme?
Yeah, actually, that's what we started almost 7 years ago, not long ago, but actually it seems that it have gained momentum. So today we have more than 80,000 companies already. Something like 20% of the companies established within last 3 years basically are e-residents companies. So it's going very well at the moment. But the essence is actually very simple. So as we cannot grow Estonia bigger
Yes.
in terms of population and in terms of territory, then of course in terms of our services we can grow. And the idea is basically that we can provide authentication basically, and also let's say the services, e-services, what we are providing to all Estonian residents. So all the e-residents will get ID card for Estonians. It's also the travel document and yeah, a kind of residency card. For e-residents, it's only the e-resident card, but actually it's all the Estonian services. I mean, tax board, establishing the company, etc. All the services basically are also open for e-residents, and it seems that that kind of like without kind of creating the company or on one single country, this makes sense that I mean in the FinTech sector, in startup sector especially. So that's why I see that we have gained the momentum at the moment.
And do you know how many companies have e-residents?
Something like 17,000 already. So yeah, it's really performing very well. Even much more better than we expected in the first place. So.
Sounds like a great scheme. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.